Hey guys, I probably reviewed everything that's going to be on the test because most of the test is just on this first part. But let's go ahead and review the information from the last couple days. So it says a conditional statement has a portion that says P arrow Q. The P part is the hypothesis and the conclusion is the P part. And the converse is if we swapped those around. So a converse is if I put the Q first and the P next. Now, I'm going to cross out some of this because we didn't study the inverse, the contrapositive, or the biconditional. We only studied these two. So this conditional statement was the first thing, and a converse was the second thing. Okay. Now, we definitely did this truth statement. So a truth value was, we notice sometimes the truth was the same, whether it was the conditional or the converse, and sometimes writing it in reverse changed the truth value. And a truth value just means, is it true or false, or only true sometimes? So that's all that means. Okay, now it starts talking again about contrapositive, and I crossed that part out, so we don't have to worry about that. And we don't have to worry about inverse. So converses, we can just say converses are also logically equivalent. Okay, that makes sense. So let's take a look at some examples. It says, find the truth value of the conditional. All quadrilaterals have four sides. Okay. So we say to ourselves, oh wait, I read that wrong. All quadrilaterals have four congruent angles. No. Only the rectangle and the square have four congruent angles. But I could draw a trapezoid, and this is acute, and these angles are obtuse. So there's an example of, that's what you call a counterexample. I've proven to you that this is not always true. Not always true. Just sometimes true. Okay. Now, let's take a look at 35. It says, for each statement, write the conditional and the converse. Now, we want to ignore these other words we didn't go over. Okay. So, this is pretty easy. Let me find some room on my paper. Okay, so I'm just going to add a piece of paper. Let's see. A number that is a multiple of 4. So if a number is a multiple of 4, then, we've got to have this if part, comma, then part. And we got to have this part and the green part. So if a number is a multiple of 4, it's a multiple of 2. Then it's a multiple of 2. Okay, now it says write the converse. So we can do that. I'm just going to flip these around. If it's a multiple of 2, then it's a multiple of 4. Now, I'm not sure if that truth statement holds up, but I've definitely done what I've been asked. I've been asked to write an if-then statement where I first put the hypothesis here, and then I rewrite it with the hypothesis second. I flip those around. All right, now let's look at 36. Kona jogs 5 miles every Saturday morning. So if Kona jogs 5 miles, then it's Saturday morning. Maybe pause the video. Give yourself a chance to flip this around. If it's Saturday morning, then Kona jogs 3 miles. 5 miles. Just kidding. Okay, so that's looking good. Hopefully you got all the right stuff in all the right places. Okay. Now it says, find the truth value of each condition and explain your reasoning or show a counterexample. Okay. So, find the truth. So we're just deciding if it's true. If a number is less than 4, then it's prime. I'm going to say false. And I can give you an example. -8 is less than 4, but it is not prime. 8 is not prime because it's divisible by 2. So I've already found my counterexample, and it is false. Question 38, if this statement is true, then x is less than 8. So let's do a little algebra just to see if this would be true. If I added 7 to both sides, right, I get 3x is less than 21. It's looking a little suspicious. And if I divide x on both sides, I get x is less than 7. So I'm going to get a false. And here's my counterexample. Interesting. If it snows, then school will be canceled. I think definitely in the state of Florida, if it snows, school will be canceled. Mark my words. Okay. Let's look at the last one. It says, a cafeteria only offers pudding on Tuesdays. Use this fact to write a biconditional. So I'm not sure, we didn't talk about this, but we can write this as an if this. If it's Tuesday, then we be getting pudding. Then the cafeteria will offer pudding. Cool. Okay, let's get started on the last section. So that was just my extra piece of paper because I didn't have a lot of room there. All right, last section. We didn't do 1.8, just 1.7, and we didn't do indirect proof. So that really just means this is the one that talks about indirect. Okay, so let's take a look. It says a proof is just your deductive reasoning explaining why. And if we can go through the steps of proving it, it's called a theorem. Okay, now an indirect proof is not something we talked about, so I'm just going to cross that out. Okay, now it says, write a paragraph proof, and they did. So they just kind of wrote out their steps. They didn't write them in lines or laid that out for us at all. Now, question 44 says, find the variable and the measure of each angle. So let's go ahead and do that. It looks like these are vertical angles, right? And we learned today that they have to be equal. So that means that they have to be equal, right? So let's just jot that down over here. Or I can actually write this on another sheet of paper, and I think I want to probably do lined paper. So let's just copy this over. 3x minus 6 is equal to 2x plus 22. Okay. So we can subtract 2x, copy the rest down, add 6, and we get that. Our answer is 28. Okay, so we found the variable, that's x, so that's 28. But now it says we need to know what each angle is. So I got to substitute 28 in here. And so I just got to do a little computation. So 3 times 28. Okay, so 3 times 28 minus 6 is my first angle. So I get 78 for this angle. Now let's do the same over here. 2 times 28 plus 22. 78. Okay, that should make me happy because vertical angles are congruent. So the measure of each angle is 78. All right, same thing here. This angle should equal that angle because of the vertical angle theorem. So let's set them equal. 2x plus 32. So 2x plus 32 should be equal to the vertical angle 3x minus 5. Okay. So let's subtract 2x. We get x, and I'll copy the rest down. And then add 5. And I get x is 37. Okay, so x is 37. Now let's plug the 37 in to see the measure of each angle. So I get 106 here. Hopefully I'm getting it at 106 for the other one. Minus 5, 106. Yay. So x is 37 and the other angle is 136. Okay, two more. It says write a proof. Now we wouldn't have to write a proof on a test, but let's just take a look here. It says given this angle is 90, okay, prove that x is 12. So let's just walk through our steps over here. Maybe I won't go through the whole proof, but I do know that these two angles add up to 90 because what they told me. So y plus 42 has to equal 90 because of this given statement, right? And so I can subtract 42. And I get 48. Okay, so this is 48. That makes sense. So this is 48. So doesn't this have to equal 48? These have to equal each other because of the vertical angle theorem. So 4x has to equal y because of vertical angles, correct? But we know what y is. It's 48, so we can substitute that in. Okay, and now our last step, we're almost there. If I divided by 4 on both sides, I'd get x is 12. You've done it. You've finished your study guide. I've proven x is 12. Great job, guys. Check in next time.